Hi everyone, this is Meteorologist Joel Curtis with your Alaska weather. Starting out, we're on Thursday, August 29th. And first of all, let's take a look at our hazardous weather map. The only thing that we have on the map right now is a special weather statement for southeast Alaska. And it's calling for the heaviest rain to be for the central panhandle, about 2 to 6 inches, and south of Sumner Strait, about 1.5 to 3 inches. And then also we're looking at another event on September 4th through 5th. And again, that's really uncertain and it's way out there in the future, but that's something we're going to be keeping our eye on. So in this outlook for southeast Alaska, you can see that it's really kind of a wet period there. Again, the heavy rain expected Friday into Saturday, and then again some heavy rain and wind potential at the end of next week. And yesterday I was showing you this tool that we use here at the forecaster offices. This is the transport of moisture, if you will, without getting too geeky into it. But you can see that the atmospheric river is aimed at southeast Alaska, and we're definitely more certain about that today than we were yesterday. So let's take a look at the satellite imagery. First of all, you can see that moisture sweeping into the panhandle. Also a low center down there about Dutch Harbor or so. Plus there is some moisture along the north slope and into the Brooks Range, and that's a weakening cold front that's moved past, and there is a little bit more upstream from that, and some pretty nice weather in between, let's say from Bethel on up to Fairbanks. So let me run that satellite loop again, and you can see that it's moving from the southwest into the panhandle, and then that low is starting to track east there near Dutch Harbor. So here's a still shot. There were a couple of thunderstorms in northeastern Alaska today and also into northwestern Canada. That's associated with a really weak low, 1,005 millibars. There's our system in the south there. It's about, probably as deep as 987 millibars. And then a full occluded front wrapped around it that you can see on the satellite image. And then surrounded by a few surface high pressure systems, 1021 in northeastern Russia, 1025 in the North Pacific. And we've got about let's say about a 1026 down there south of Haida Gwaii or so. So for tonight, that low moves further to the east, and plenty of precipitation out in front of it, and also along with the occluded front. Also that weak low pressure is down to 1010, about the northern section of the Alcan, and then you can see some frozen precipitation up there in the Beaufort and Chukchi Seas, but an area of clearing actually along the Brooks Range, which is kind of encouraging, and that trough is approaching southeastern Alaska. And then for Friday, we might see a thunderstorm or two out in the ocean associated with this upper low. And the reasoning was this, is that some cold air aloft is moving up over this system. It's being drawn in, and then of course warmer temperatures at the surface is enough instability that it might trigger a little bit of lightning that's out there. But otherwise you can see that fully wrapped occluded front moving into the Gulf of Alaska, warm air out ahead of the system, and that's prompting the precipitation, the lift if you will, of the moisture into southeast Alaska. And then also a little bit of precipitation, as you can see, along the panhandle, also some frozen precipitation over the higher elevations. Then we've got one area of precipitation along the Alcan, but some nicer weather moving down into the central and western regions. And then again, more frozen precipitation offshore into the Beaufort Sea. And then looking at Saturday, That low pressure system has finally weakened to about 1,001 millibars. Lots of troughs spinning around that, and each one of them will have some precipitation. Still some frozen precipitation over parts of the Alaska Range and the Wrangell-St. Elias Mountains. Also, is the potential for some thunderstorms. This would be in the North Gulf, and there's just a slight chance that they might move onshore, but we'll just be keeping an eye on that, and be sure and get an update tomorrow to see if you're concerned about those cells. Also, the weakening front moving up to southeast Alaska. Again, that's the precipitation for Saturday, and a couple of troughs lined up behind that. Also, we have high pressure out over the Bering Sea, about 1,021 millibars down to 1,023 south of the Aleutians. And that is for our map situation. Now let's look at our low temperatures for Friday morning. Temperatures well into the 30s, all the way to the Brooks Range. You might even see 28 degrees up in Anaktuvuk and Anagan Pass. Also, in this midsection of the state, temperatures, low temperatures in the 40s or so, approaching 48 down by Bethel or so. Out along the Alaska Peninsula, we might even see some 50-degree readings, but generally 40s in south central. And then as we get over into the Panhandle, temperatures hovering right around 50, some a little bit above, some a little bit below. Then for our high temperatures Friday afternoon, you might see 61 in Skagway, which has the most chance of a little sunshine. Other than that, temperatures generally in the 50s all the way up to 60 for Ketchikan. And then as we get into the central interior, you can see temperatures even rising a little bit above the 60-degree mark, but generally in the 50s. And then for the North Slope, high temperatures generally in the 40s. And then as you go out the Alaska Peninsula, a little bit warmer with temperatures in the mid-50s with a couple of spots down to 49 degrees. Then for our low temperatures on Saturday morning, plenty of readings in the 30s for the North Slope, up into the 40s for the central part of the state. Might see even one reading in the 50 was forecasted for Anchorage. Temperatures hovering around 50 again for the Panhandle. And then going out to the Pribilofs, cooler air, the temperatures around 43, and out on the Aleutians in the 40s. And then for high temperatures Saturday afternoon, again 40s for the North Slope and up into the Brooks Range, but 50s and lower 60s for the central portion of the state, including the Susitna Valley and Anchorage reaching 60 degrees or so. 50s as you go out the Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, and out to the Pribilofs. And then our high temperatures for the Panhandle, again, hovering around 50, but you might see 63 up to Ketchikan and 59 for Yakutat. So for our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, going with a pretty good chance of above normal temperatures for the Panhandle and the southeastern part of the mainland. Meanwhile, for the West Coast, we at least some chance that it's going to be below normal temperatures, with a large swath of normal temperatures across the western sections of the state. Then for precipitation, again, the precipitation, and we talked about that September 4th, September 5th event that we're still looking at, and a lot of uncertainty in that. But if you had to bet, a higher than normal chance of above normal precipitation for about the, let's say the southeastern 1/3 of the state, and normal precipitation for the rest. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Please stay safe out there, and have a very good evening.